Morning! First day out on the boat in the river, and I'm hopefully going to have enough entertainment to turn it into a blog. Roll the intro. Hi there! We're on the river, on the boat. And it's not a blank, we've had a jack. Woo!
A few moments later.
Yeah, looking cool. Out in the boat, on the river. 4 rods in. So far, 1 jack. I'm not showing it on camera, it was literally 3/4 of a pound. The bad voices in my head would go, put it on as a live bait, put it on as a live bait. But live baiting is naughty. It's illegal to be caught live baiting here in Northern Ireland, on the Erne. Oh. Fishing in quite deep water, down to 9.5 metres. There's a big shoal of silverfish. So we're just chucking out some baits here, and then we give it maybe an hour, and then we move down the river and find another deep hole, give it an hour, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah.
More moments later.
Still fishing this one hole. I'm thinking about time that we moved on a bit. I have to be out of here by about, I start to leave home about, get the boat out for around about 5ish, get down the road. Wife's working tonight. I might actually get out tomorrow, although I'll probably head to the Big Lock tomorrow because that's probably the best place to go. But it's not been bad. We have 1 fish. Let me show you where we are. If I can get you off this thing. Hold on. This is these magical new fish. That way is Enniskillen. That way is Carry Bridge. I'm not really anchoring. I'm putting the nose into the weed and the reeds and the grass, and then just putting the mud bait out the back, and then putting out 4 rods on different. Starting over here, I have a sardine, then I have a smelt, and then I have 2 roach. The roach are basically suspended, so they're kind of going. It's weird because the flow is going that way, but the wind is going that way, so the floats don't really know what's happening. There isn't enough current to actually push them that way, so gradually the floats actually are getting pulled upstream. So that's a funny one. But yeah, it's awesome to be out in the boat. Really enjoying it. I just need some fish to turn up.
1 hour later.
Right, top tip time. I always cut the tails off my mackerel because it stops them spinning in the current. And I also, don't know if you can see that, I take my chopper and stab. Loads of slices in the side of her. That way it lets out all the oil. Lots of oil in the water means lots of scent. Lots of scent attracts the pike. That's the plan. Let's get it in.
2 hours later.
Let's go and find somewhere else to fish. Let's go back down the river. Let's try not to annoy this guy that's directly below me here. It's 8 meters deep here. Lots of fish showing. Let's get into the side here.
Later.
Another top tip. Another top tip. When you get baits that you've used and you think they're a bit washed out and they're a bit shit, I chop them up into this, right? Then I take them home, put them in a bag and freeze them. I put a little bit of oil in with them. So when it comes to the next session, you have some chopped fish with some oil. And you can get to where you're fishing and chuck them in around your baits to hopefully attract a monster. Right, we're going to discuss popping up baits. There's many ways to do it. You can get those little fox popper upper ball things, the little red ones. You can get these here. These are made by Gray's Prowler. Unfortunately, Gray's Prowler went bust, so you don't get these. But these have a little screw, so you can screw them into the bait and the bait will pop up. Or you can go the old-fashioned way, and I quite like this way for myself. This is a balsa wood dowel. I get these custom made in various sizes. You get big ones and small ones and blah 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 blah. But there's an eye on each end of them, depending on what end I'm inserting into the bait, shall we say. When I'm pushing them into the bait, it's handy to have one of these things. This is a baiting needle. You would put this through the bait to out its mouth, and you can see, I'm not sure if it's picking up, but you can see there's a little catch. So that little catch catches onto the eye, and then you can pull this, it doesn't fall off. If it falls off, clip it back on. Oh. Right. So you have it clipped on and you're pulling it through your bait, and this gets pulled through the fish's mouth into its belly cavity. Then with this wire you would wrap it around the tail end hook of your trace. That means that when the pike takes the bait, you're getting this back because you're using the wire to effectively tie it, secure it to your trace. You don't want to leave these in fish. You don't want to lose these. This is why you use the wire. Look at it like this. Would you like to try and digest that? That's balsa wood. Another trick I do, and I've been doing it a long time, I make up traces. They're quite long. I'm not sure if it's getting it in here, but this is nearly 3 feet. On the trace I have put a little crimp with a split ring and a clip. To that clip I have a length of old trace wire, with just a loop crimped to the end of it. I would hook the bait up as normally with that there, then use your baiting needle to pull this through the fish's body. Then you can attach your pop-up ball or whatever, and slide it down this bit of metal, this bit of wire, and then you just put like a boilie stopper or something like that there, or a little tiny bit of, branch or something. You just enough to kind of stop the thing sliding off. So this will be through the bait of the fish, and this will be hooked into the side of the fish. It also gives you a lot of ability to properly whack out the bait, because it's got a length of wire running right the way through it to like a big stopper ball or popper ball at the end. So a lot of this can take a lot of pressure. So if you're using a bait like a sardine that's quite soft, this is a good way of popping up a sardine. Again, sardines being that soft, they don't tend to last very, very long. I would tend to hook this so its head is the first hook, then this will be in the flank somewhere, then this will be right the way through it, and out the arse end of it I would put a pop-up ball. That way it pops it up. Now you can let it pop up the full length of the trace if you want, or what I do, I tend to get some split shot lead, and I'll basically go down thinking, okay, I want it popped up about 12 inches. So you would clip on some lead there, so that'll be sitting this high off the bottom. The pike picks it up, it doesn't really notice that there's a couple of swan shot. It's not going to notice that, it's not going to really care about that. But to cover up the clip and the split ring, I just use a little rubber sleeve like that there. That tightens it all up. That is how I pop up baits. It's been a bit slow today, it really has. Water temperatures are actually falling down, which is good. It means that the water temperatures are going where we want them to go. You know, they're going down, which is good. If they're down, it means that the fish are going to get pushed into the big deep holes, or they're going to be on the river. This is the river. In cold weather, flowing water is always warmer than still water. So you'll find on rivers, they tend to fish, you know, they would be my first sort of pick in the winter time if it was really cold weather. Of course, on big deep lakes, you know, like the lower Loch Erne, I don't know where that accent came from. You can find where the fish will be in what's called a thermal climb. You could be sitting in 60 meters of water and the fish might be sat at 45 meters. That's them sitting in a position where that layer of water is obviously warm and it's what they want and it's nice. So that's where they would sit. So if you were going to go over that and drop bait, you wouldn't put your bait on the bottom, you would suspend it kind of. If the fish are sitting at, you know, 40 feet, you can slide your stop knot so that you're fishing 35 feet, you know, so that the fish are kind of, your bait's kind of around the shoal fish. I find on places like the Erne system, we don't really have, at least I don't think we have resident pike. I think the pike are migratory, they follow the shoals, because especially on the big loch, the shoals just go round and round and round and round the loch. I think they go from feeding spot to feeding spot to feeding spot. Well, they might take months to get from one feeding spot to the other. So a pike's not going to sit in, you know, some deep bay or some bay think with nothing in it. It's going to be following them. The river might be slightly more different because if it's flowing, when the river moves, when the river Erne's pushing through, the pike will find the slack water, the bait fish will find the slack water, you know, the back eddies, fish will hug the features. So the likes of marinas in the winter are cracking places to fish because all that structure. If you're fishing a river like the Erne that has smaller rivers, for example like the River Sillies or the Erne, it'll come into the river, so you have two different flows of water coming in, and if you fish in the right position, you're basically anchored in the back eddy from those two rivers coming in, so you can drift or like trot baits down with a float in that current and hopefully catch pike. It's been a while since I've done a video, isn't it? It's purely because work's mad. Work's just been crazy. I'm getting kind of the handle of the boat, if you know what I mean, like getting grips with it and everything, which is good. I'm loving having the boat. I'm going to change. I've got like a big 8 kilo fluke anchor with like 5 meters of chain. I'm probably going to change that for a 15 kilo mud weight, you know, just because the Erne's muddy. Mud weights are good, they get, you know, they'll hold you. If I was fishing in the ocean or the sea around Ireland, then I'll use the anchors for that. But I'm thinking about, I mean, the mud weights I'm using aren't expensive. They're old kettlebells from the gym. I have a 12 kilo one. Well, actually got a few of them. I've got like right from 10 kilos to 20 kilos. But 20 kilos is a bit manly, you know. You need to have your Weetabix that morning. You're gonna sit and pull a 20 kilo mud weight out of the mud. But no, 15 kilos is a nice weight that you can drop in, and everything's kind of easier with that sort of weight, you know. The 12 kilos is okay if you're in like slower water or like still water. But I found even today with the 12, because at the minute all I'm fishing today is I'm pushing the nose into the reeds and fishing out the ass end of the boat. To keep myself kind of still, I'm just dropping the mud weight over the back end of the boat. So the nose of the boat, it's going to be stuck in the reeds, kind of, and the reeds kind of secure you there. At the back end, just to stop the boat going like that there, it's just dropped the mud weight. It's been an alright day. I've had a couple of showers, but it's not been so bad. It's not been a blank. I've caught one pike. It's not exactly spectacular. It was something that, if I'm honest, I could have used as bait. I don't even think it would have made a pound. It took a smelt. But hopefully, I mean, it's like the 16th of November. It's not that cold. I mean, the water temperatures are just now beginning to fall, below 10 degrees. This is crazy. There's the lifeboats. I'm hoping that nobody's in trouble, that those guys, I think if those guys were going this slow, then nobody's in trouble. Usually if they're ripping up the river, then somebody's in trouble and they're going to help them out. But apart from that, it's been a good day. I'm going to do the whole recovering the boat out of the jetty now in about an hour, and then drive down there. It's not been a long session. My wife didn't get in from work until she got home about 8 o'clock in the morning. She works nights, she's a nurse, so I wait till she's home, I make sure everything's okay, and then disappear. From Oma to Enniskillen, it's 27 or 28 miles. It's not that long. You can just get here and take your time. Because I have the boat sitting on my driveway, I don't have a mooring. I can see the benefits of having a mooring, and I can see the benefits of towing the boat. The Erne system at the minute, we've had a lot of thefts where auxiliary motors and other things have been pinched from boats, and we know where they're going. The auxiliary motors and the outboards, they're getting stole. They're getting set in shipping containers back to France so that the boat people can come in from Europe. The cops told us that this is what's happening. They've caught guys putting shipping containers full of outboards. They've caught them bringing them across to France. So it's people smuggling. It's kind of sad. So leaving your boat in a mooring, you'd have to be very, very sure that the mooring's secure. And unfortunately, moorings on the river, there's too many people that can sneak up, to your boat when it's moored up and help themselves to your gear. So it's a bit dangerous unless you've got a secure mooring and it's kind of not in the public way, if you know what I mean. Like the River Erne, unfortunately, it's going to be busy. But if your mooring was somewhere, down by Listaskey, out of the way, then you could be alright, you could get away with it. But I would need to have the boat wired up so that it's got an automatic bilge. Because at the minute the bilge is manual, you have to switch it on. With the rain that we've had, we've got a little bit of water in the bilge, nothing major, nothing to worry about. Kind of hoping that we'd have another fish, something bigger that I can show you. Not sure what's going on with them. I think because the water is starting to get colder, the fish are kind of in that, that middle ground. They're going kind of, we don't know where to go. Should we be smashing up everything that moves, or should we be conserving our energy? That sort of way. But I'm enjoying the day out. Really am. Always doing them fishing. So what's going on in your guys' worlds? I've been enjoying the craziness from America. The Donald got elected again. It just makes me kind of happy that the UK isn't the only country with shit politicians and mad politicians, and I'm waiting forward for the guys that's on the other side of his politics to kind of go mad, like screaming and roaring and shouting, and summer of peace, burn the place to the ground sort of thing, you know. Although this time around, I don't think they're going to be getting away with a lot of it. I think from so far what Trump's picking in terms of his cabinet, it's going to be an interesting 4 years for America. Whereas we in the UK, we have a government that's actively trying. I honestly think the UK, the government at the minute, is actively trying to stir up public unrest. The inheritance tax. To me, if you've worked all your life and bought a house and you've got a family, then you should be okay to pass that on to your family, and there shouldn't be taxes. It does annoy me when I see so much waste, so much money wasted. But they're raising, they've turned around and told us that there's this mythical billions of black hole. But in the same breath, they're giving certain people in the world, like train drivers, doctors, solicitors, they're giving those guys mega pay rises. Which is strange, because if the country's broke and it's got no money, how are we giving pay rises, to train drivers? Don't understand it. I don't understand that. And then the pièce de résistance, they've decided to screw over the farmers. Never seen something so stupid in all my life. The very people that produce the food we eat, they're getting screwed over by the government. And the farmers aren't exactly the bunch of people that you really want to mess around with. So I hope they do take to the streets and spray shite up down the street and, voice their opinion, because it's very clear that certain elements in our society can voice their opinions and get away with blue murder. But when honest, decent folk like farmers or, normal folks seem to say anything, we seem to get the aggressive policing, the cosh. We have problems in the UK. This is why I fish, because it keeps me fucking sane. I'm going to give it another half hour and then probably take it in and try and get this boat up the slipway. Hi there, thanks for watching. That was just a short session with me on the river in the boat. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good to be on the river. The river's very, very low. That's the lowest I have ever seen that slipway. There was a good 5-foot drop from the top of the jetty to the boat, so it was interesting trying to get in and out of the boat. It wasn't a full day because the wife was at work and had to be home and other things like that there. So it was one of those things. Wasn't a blank. Good. I caught a fish that I probably would have used as a bait. In another occasion, I'd have probably used it as a big bait because it was about 3/4 of a pound. I didn't do that. It went back in. Something I'm finding out very, very quickly with the boat is having things, keeping things as tidy as I can, making the most of the space that I have, trying to keep everything organised and out of the way. Like when I'm fishing, the net sits on top of the outboard. When I'm, because the rods are in the rod holders, they're out the side of they're out the side of the boat. The net's there, the unhooking mat's at the back of the boat. When I'm going somewhere, the rods are up in the rod holders above the cabin. The net and the unhooking mat's just on the floor. The front of my cabin here, things like anchors, ropes, bags of stuff, more equipment, dead bait, unhooking mat when I've got one of those unhooking. It's like a big cradle, not like the one I have for bank fishing, but it's made by Ultimate and it's quite good. I quite like it so far. Other things, I'm making use of all the storage because there's limited storage. Other things I've done to the boat since getting it is putting cleats on the side of this so that when I'm anchored up I can quickly secure the rope and get into the fish and not have to worry about it. We're not fishing this weekend because apparently we're getting the winds of Storm Bert, and Storm Bert is meant to be 45 to 55 mile an hour winds, so no fishing today. But I'll be out on the last weekend of November. The boat adventures continue, eh? Anyway, troops, until the next time, tight lines.